the end of fantasy football season. It's over, folks. It's done. You either came out on top or you came out a few dollars short in your pocket. And a lot of you have Najee Harris or Cleveland's coach to thank for where you ended up last night. We will get to that in just a minute. But before we do, I'm Chris Fox, fan of the Rose Bowl champion, the Ohio State Buckeyes, welcoming my co-host, the best co-host in all the land, Mr. Roop. There it is, Boomer
Sooner. And you know what? I love all the college games. They were a lot of fun. But all I can think about is I know exactly what I'm doing in next year's draft. I'm ready for it. I know I'm going to win. I'm going to guarantee I'm going to win a league next year as long as I don't lose like my top two guys again.
Yeah.
Here, but I can guarantee it. I'm winning next year. I feel it. I feel it already. I'm going to start drafting next week. I'm just kidding. But I'm ready.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people, I think, feel that way. We all have the strategy. We all know the team that we want now. Of course, we won't get but two of those draft picks because that's exactly how it happens every year. But you know what? I mean, look, I saw a lot of good stuff. I'll tell you, I saw that run. We're going to talk about this in just a second. I'm watching the game last night. Obviously, I'm a Steelers fan. I want to see Roethlisberger's last game at home. I've been a Steelers fan his whole career and plus some. So to see that game, I definitely wanted to watch it. But I'm watching, and end of the fourth, game's over, and Najee busts that run for the touchdown, and I just had to laugh because I knew with that run right there, so many people made money and so many people lost. I mean, it was done. It was over. They were already, counting the bills in their hand, and then he busts this run for no reason, and it just went poof. Half their stack went away. It was quite a cool and appropriate end to this year's fantasy season.
Yeah, it pretty much sums it up with some. If you had like Jamar Chase and Najee Harris sitting there on your team, and you're like, well, I'm doing well, and all of a sudden Najee runs for that touchdown. I mean, that changed a lot of people. I felt so comfortable for that run. I was like, oh, cool, a touchdown. That means nothing to me. And I could just see the people getting wrecked in their own living room.
Oh, yeah.
Or crying because they're lost or somebody cheering. It was definitely I'm sorry I missed out on it because that would have, I drafted him in almost every league I could. So that was really exciting. Uh-oh, did we lose the host? Is he gone? There you are. All right.
There we go. Okay, sorry about that, folks. I'm thinking difficulty. Page just disappeared on us. But hey, we're back. No big deal. So welcome back to the show. But no, because you actually had picked, and we're going to this later as well. You picked Najee Harris as your rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year.
I did. It's right there. I found it.
There it is, right there. I don't know. I don't think he's going to get it, but he definitely made. He's definitely the top rookie running back of the year by far. And again, we'll get into that. But it was a good pick, and he definitely did what he was supposed to do as a rookie this season. Just some other rookies and receivers are going to get a little more opportunity to show out just based on the position. But way to go, Najee. So many big things. The season's just been crazy. I mean, you've got the Bengals win in the North. Joe Burrow throwing for 1 billion yards. Jamar Chase catching, just short of 999 million of them. You've got New England still. New England could win the division still. They still have a shot to win the division behind Mac Jones, who I said was a great replacement for Tom Brady myself. But you really see this year the impact that Belichick has on that position, on that team, to take someone like Mac Jones there's games where he only threw like 3 times a game, and they still won. But I mean, that's the master at work there. So New England to have the rookie quarterback and still have a shot to win. Tennessee's in the top spot without Derrick Henry. If they get the bye, that gives another week for Henry to come back. Oh my God. Are the Colts going to get in? They still got a shot. Philly's in. The Colts could get in with Wentz, and Philly's in with Hurts. Ridiculous. The Packers play probably the first game, probably one of the worst games I've ever seen, and they've won their whole side. Seahawks are out. We're going to talk more about that. Just a crazy season.
Yeah, to watch some of these elite players and newcomers come in and do what they do best, it was actually really exciting to see the differences between a rookie and someone like Russell Wilson. Technically, I mean, not totally struggling, injured, sure, but is he going somewhere next year? You got to watch for that.
All signs point to yes, right?
Right, and where does he go? Where does he end up? He's going to have the chemistry? Is going to take a year or two to develop. Is he going to fall into some trap of like the team that just can't get it together? And I'm kind of really worried about that. I'm not sure I'm going to be targeting Wilson at all next year, no matter what, unless something really wild happens. But it's just stuff like that I'm really paying a lot of attention to, and how soon it happens after the season.
Well, and you got to look at things like Burrow. Burrow was brought there to do exactly what he did, and he's finishing if the season ended today, he'd finish in the top 5. Mac Jones is the top rookie at 17, but like you said, Russell Wilson is behind him at 19. It's crazy to see. And then, of course, you have Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield, he gets a small pass because he has been injured all season, but Baker Mayfield was supposed to be the answer. Everybody's so excited. And then you see games like last night, and last night you kind of hurt for the guy because he just looked horrible, and his coach just kept making him throw the ball and look worse.
Yeah, I mean, with the arm sling on over there, he's going off surgery. I don't think he's even playing next week. Go get surgery, go get healthy, and come back and get ready to work, for next year. There's really nothing to play for next week for them. I mean, pride and a W for the team, but just make sure everybody ends the season healthy is really what I'm going for. For somebody who's coming to save the day, he did worse this season than last season. So,
absolutely. I saw one stat during the game. He's got the most interceptions of any quarterback in that span of time. It's from 2018 to now, he's got far and away the most interceptions, I think, of any quarterback in the NFL. It's just insane. And then, especially when you have Chubb there, and they brought this up during the game, Pittsburgh's weakness is run defense. They have the worst run defense in the league, despite Watt likely to break the season sack record. They have the worst run defense in the league, and you hardly fed the ball to Chubb at all. I don't know what the hell happened. I know a lot of Chubb owners are reasonably pissed off about it because they lost a game because of dumb decisions. So with that, let's talk about how you guys did. Give me just a second here to pull this up for everybody. We got a lot of good input, and I want to share it. Let's get this up on the screen. That's the problem. Boom. All right, there we go. So here's one right here where we had 10-point difference, 10-5. These teams right here, I know were the championship week team was number 6 seed, and Rubicon 3 was number 4th seed. 7-7, I think Rubicon was, and he takes the championship this week. So good for Rubicon. And you see the rosters here, and they're both good rosters, but then you see people with Diggs with single digits and Jefferson in the single digits. and then you've got Singletary sitting there at 24, things like that. It's just it's crazy to see these type of results. And this is how people's seasons ended. Good for anybody who picked up Penny, and I saw a lot of people do it. And yeah, the guy goes off for 32 plus, depending on what your league is.
Yeah, that's actually a nice little pickup there. I mean, to someone to come through at the end of the season and really show out on the week that you need to on championship weekend, that's really what you're looking for. It's sad to watch, Jefferson or, someone like Antonio Brown just drop out at like 4 or 5 points, depending on your league. And I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit. But, I mean,
Yeah, that was a little interesting to see that. Let's see. Are we going to go to the next one? We're going to go to the next one. We're not going to go to the next one. Here we go. And there we go. On the next one now. So, what's that?
1 point?
1 point. Yeah, Matthew said just lost. And we were talking about the impact that Chubb and Najee had, but you see here in this case, Chubb only had 5.8, but it was 1 point enough. That 5.8 was enough to take Matt down, and of course he's going against Jamar Chase there, which just bad luck on that one. Nobody wanted to go against Jamar Chase after that showing. You look at your roster and you're hoping, oh, please don't tell me I'm not playing Jamar against Jamar. But you see he made a good pickup down there in Atlanta. They played defensive players at linebacker, and he got 27 points out of Olukin. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but I mean, that's a nice pickup as well to have an Atlanta defender get you 27 points. It just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, to see just watching every lineup that has Jamar Chase, if you had him, you probably won. I really want to see anybody who had Jamar Chase and lost. That would be the one I want to see.
I did see one. I saw one post where they were going against Jamar Chase and they won. They pulled it out. I think we're going to get into that in a second. He was down by 1. And Najee helped him pull it out. Let's see. This one, fuck the Packers, because, but they ended up pulling it out in the end. He doesn't like the Packers, but he does have Adams on his team. That's Sam Ramadan. Harris won it for me, so he was behind going in, and Harris goes off for 39, and thank God he got that touchdown again at the end, got that scamper, because you see he only won by 3 points. So Najee really did bring it home. So you figure going into that Pittsburgh game last night, he's down 37 points, 36 points, and probably not thinking he's going to get it.
Yeah, and that I actually saw something about an hour ago where someone was down by about almost 10 points, and that touchdown put him barely over the mark for the win. And I can't tell you how many times I'm watching, like, I need a touchdown. I need this touchdown. I'm just like, nothing happens. Just for that to happen, that excitement, I mean, jumping out of there, I mean, you're throwing popcorn everywhere. It would be actually really exciting to happen that way. So that's what
No, I agree. Like I said, I was laughing when I saw it happen. Cassandra here changed her name after the championship game to fuck Najee Harris, because I believe that she was winning going into that game. She says the Browns blow and fuck Najee Harris, because you see her opponent ended up beating her by 2. Again, that final touchdown, that last little scamper there did her in. She was already counting her money because the game was over, and then that happened. Another one, though, that was smart enough to grab Rashad Penny before the game started, and in this case, it didn't. It almost got it done. You see a lot of Adams on these rosters. You see a lot of A.J. Browns on these rosters. Of course, we're seeing Penny's name a lot. I've seen Josh Allen's name a lot. And, of course, Najee Harris. We'll go back here. You'll see between these rosters here, you see Adams there. And this one here, these are 2 quarterback league, etc. But you see Allen in there. You see A.J. Brown over on one side. You see Chubb on another side. There's Aaron Jones on that side. Let's see. This one again, there's Allen's name, there's A.J. Brown's name, there's Adams' name, there's Jones's name again, there's Penny's name again. I've seen Swift a couple times. So kind of a running thing here for championship rosters.
So we're seeing a lot of the champions not sitting and waiting on quarterbacks, it looks like, because Josh Allen and Kyler Murray you're not picking them up in the 10th round.
Right. No, and you are seeing Josh Allen. We don't see quarterbacks there, but yeah, Josh Allen. There's Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady went around 5th round. You see Aaron Rodgers on there as well. I know I got Aaron Rodgers in the 5th round. There's Allen again, like you said, Kyler Murray. So yeah, I mean, definitely. People say wait on quarterbacks, and because you can pull one out, but like you said, we are seeing that. This guy here got Aaron Rodgers. And you see he won by 1.5 points. This is Donald Farthing, and he said Chubb almost effed me. Yeah, it's real low, like one less carry there, and he's sitting on the wrong end of the championship. But you see Rodgers there, you see Taylor. We've seen Taylor's name a few times, Jefferson's name a few times. Again, you see the names that are there, and this one, this is the closest one that I've seen, and I actually have that. Whoops. Well, okay, so we're gonna do that. If I can, my thing is freaking out on me here, so I apologize for that. I don't know if I can get this one up. Can you see that one?
No, sir.
Okay, great. Let's see if we can't. What happened was my screen is huge right now, and so it's I can barely see our faces. It's so. What's that?
So you got a huge screen? Is that what you're saying?
It's super zoomed in right now, and so I can't see anything.
Messing everything up.
It's messing everything up. I can't zoom in, zoom out. It won't let me do anything. So we might be looking at this stuff for a while. Let's see here.
Hat.
What's that?
Rob says it's that ugly hat.
It's the best hat in the world. What are you talking about? Let's see if you can. Nope, that's not what I want either. And we already looked at all those. So I can't show you the rosters for this matchup right here.
Pretty high.
What's that?
It's probably the same. Those are pretty high numbers.
Those are huge numbers, but you see how close it was. I mean, we're talking, God, what is that? 0.38. I mean, that's ridiculous to be that close.
I've done it. And I was on the losing side. I lost like that.
For a championship game, it's just something. To me, it just blows my mind, and I would not want to have been a part of that. We've got another one here that you guys can't see thanks to my technical difficulties. 204 to 167, but he actually, our champion. I see Russell Wilson again on the other side. I see Jefferson again on the other side. But I see Rashad Penny and Russell Wilson. He actually took a chance with Wilson, who's just been horrible all season, but of course had a great Sunday, got 35 points. Penny with 32, and that's pretty much all she wrote. He had a great showing thanks to the scoring on his defense as well. Went ahead and picked up Chicago's defense, who played well. But again, you see those names keep popping up on the same rosters. I see Kelsey here. I've seen Everett. I've even seen Eckler a couple times. So definitely a running theme like we talked about with champions this year.
Yeah, Kevin says, I quit fantasy football completely. I'm assuming that if that happened to me, I would think about it. I would definitely contemplate it, no doubt about it. Or what did you learn from this? Pick up Rashad Penny for next year, round one, maybe, because I need you out of the way for the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I've lost that way. But if I'm going to end the championship and I'm going to lose, give me like 40, 50, 60, 70 points and just beat me. Don't give me point something or 2 or 3 points. I can't stand that. It's a bad night for me every time. I don't know why. Maybe it's all the work I do, staying up late hours, early mornings, whatever. I do way too much research to not win. Can I tell you the list of names that I had on my team?
Yeah, I mean, by all means. And feel free, everyone else, to join in there as well.
Yeah.
With
So I had
yours.
Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Darren Waller, Robert Woods, Logan Thomas, Michael Thomas, Trey Sermon, all of which were injured. Those
The
were
ambulance squad.
And that's what I said at the beginning of our season. Said the winner is going to have the healthiest team, or at least the best pickups from last week. But when you get that many injuries over 2 or 3 leagues, you can just pretty much count it out because those guys are top tier. I mean, I even had Adam Thielen kind of go down for me and give me a loss a couple times because of injuries. So, that's the type of thing. Like, get those healthy players. Never, ever, ever again, and I'm going to say it next year when we start it up again, draft someone on IR that's supposed to come back.
Yeah, that didn't work out well. And we'll see where Thomas is actually going to be at. I don't know if he'll even be playing for the Saints this year. He definitely he could make your list of duds for sure.
No, he's going to be playing with Russell Wilson next year.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is, yeah. I talked to my guy.
You talked to your guy. You got the insider on that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this holds up. I'll have to tweet it.
Did your guy say anything about Antonio Brown? Geez, what a nightmare!
Yeah, he said, "Step your game up, Antonio Brown. Take your cleats and pants off too. Don't just
I'm glad that didn't happen. Hey guys, let's talk about, and we've touched on it already. We saw the rosters already with again with Allen and Jefferson and Adams and Jones. Definitely saw some Aaron Rodgers in supporting roles there, a few Ecklers and things like that. Let us know who your duds were. Let's talk about who just really let us down this fantasy season, because there's quite a few of them. I have quite a list going here of players that were supposed to be highly touted, early round draft picks. Let us know where you took them as well, because a lot of these guys are first and second round draft picks, definitely top 5 that just tanked the whole season.
I only have 2 because it started to get real depressing when I'm going down my list of guys that I drafted.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with not necessarily a first rounder, but possibly could have been Darren Waller. I did get him in a second round because I said, you know what, he is going to be that guy. I said it. And because he was averaging 250 points, I wanted a tight end because I'd always get wrecked in that area. And he got 2 touchdowns. He hasn't had a touchdown since week 4. Week
Yeah.
4. And when you average 256 the last couple of seasons and you end up with 131 this season, that's going to cost you in the early rounds. You need to be well in the 200s, if not 300s, with your first several picks, or you're going to be struggling all season long.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, he did go like in the second round in most leagues. You saw that a lot. Possibly even.
Not only did he cost me a lot of games, remember week 1 where he went for like 19 catches or something like that?
Oh, no, he started off hot.
Yeah, that was the week I was playing somebody in my league who had Darren Waller, who picked him up 4 picks before me. So that made me laugh even more. I'm like, okay, you got me twice. Good for you. So.
Well, and I saw people actually go back to back with Waller and Kittle. Kittle's one of these guys that I kind of put in both categories because he definitely did not come through. There's so many injuries and stuff like that. But the guy finishes as the number 3 as of this week. He's the number 3 tight end in the league. So I think that's kind of something that I don't know if people really realized. But in PPR, he's a number 3 tight end in the league. But I don't know how much he helped teams just because he was gone so much. So he's kind of both category as far as surprises and a dud for me.
Yeah, we did it in our 6-person team, our person league, and I went back-to-back Darren Waller and Kittle just to solidify my tight end spots and maybe even a flex spot depending on the matchups. Didn't pay off. I mean, I was still 11-3, ranked number 1, but I lost to number 4 because somebody didn't show up. So
yeah,
you can't always predict that what's going to happen with your elites. He's number 3, like you were saying with Kittle, but those were probably like 2 to 4 really good games, and then just quiet a lot of the other times, which you just need a little bit of stability in there,
Yeah, and that's exactly I think what did it because he did have a couple good games. Someone who didn't have a couple games, and this was someone that first round. I mean, people were talking about first round. He went first round a lot. Ended up as running back 32. I said not that I did not want to touch him because of the injuries. I know he has skill, but I did not think he was going to come back this year from it. And that's Barkley, running back 32. I just don't think he had enough time to heal. I think the Giants, of course, played like crap. And so a lot of people went, again, first, second round running back on Barkley. And, of course, he did nothing for you all season.
When we were talking in August, I was a little heated of how much Barkley is blocking, and I didn't like it. They don't have a great offensive line because they're clearly not giving you a dominant running back week in and week out. Stop blocking. Like that. Use your tight ends for that. Pull them and bring them around the edge, something. But, Barkley obviously wasn't 100% healthy, and that probably played a little bit into it. But you can't be blocking 300-plus pound dudes and think your leg's going to be fresh in the second half. You can't do it. Run that guy out. Stop getting him hit. Once in a while, sure, when it's a guaranteed pass play, but Barkley, I passed on him. I dropped him from a keeper league because it wasn't worth it. So yeah, I could see that being another dud.
Yeah.
Another one of your duds. I have one more, but go another one.
As far as the injuries go, so these guys are. I'm going to list off some of the injury duds because you can't really help if you get injured. It didn't help. You drafted them early, but you didn't know they were going to get hurt. So you've got C-Mac. You've got Hopkins. Of course, we talked about Waller already.
There's 2.
What's that?
There's 2 on my lineup.
Yeah. I had Hopkins. I drafted Hopkins, everywhere I could. But that's what happens. So you see things like that happen. And some of these guys had a couple, Edmonds, he lost a few games. but not as many as like a C-Mac or a Hopkins or anything like that. But I guess you could put Chase Edmonds on that list. I don't think he was drafted nearly as high. I don't think the expectations were quite as high, but some people that had him on the roster might consider him a dud. Lamb, I have Lamb listed as a dud based on expectations. He had a great season. He definitely won you games. I think you hoped he was going to do better than wide receiver 14 when you drafted him, though. And so that's why I have him listed on my dud list, despite the fact he did actually have a pretty good season. Wide receiver 14 isn't bad. Obviously, to be the 14th in the entire league, that's actually really good. He's listed there because I think people that drafted him expected him to do a little more. Again, we didn't see Lamb on any of those championship rosters.
Yeah, that was the funny thing is Lamb was going way too high, like round 3 or 4, real early. And yeah, it was like 3, and almost every time I did a mock draft, he was third rounder. And I'm like I like him. I want him on my roster, but it's too rich for me. Like it's just in that position, I just didn't want it. I don't have him on any of my leagues. And I mean, he really just didn't pay off for that third round position. But my biggest dud of the season, and 99% chance he was probably drafted in the first round. He averaged 330 points the last 4 seasons. 4 seasons. This season, he got 218 points. That's Alvin Kamara. He cost me big time.
I had him. Number 10 isn't a bad place to finish. That's what's so crazy about this. I mean, yes, again, he had some injuries. Still comes out as running back number 10, but definitely not what you were hoping for when you took him. I definitely had some, and I definitely took him in the first round on those teams that I had him.
Yeah, I took him number 2 overall because that was my position. And I was like, you know what? He's pretty solid. He's had great everything. Michael Thomas is going to be gone for at least 6 weeks. So he's going to at least give me a first couple of weeks win to give me, well above 500 before he comes back, and just did not pay off at all.
No, and it's crazy that he did finish. Kind of like he's kind of a Kittle situation where, he finishes high, but he didn't really win you very many weeks.
No, not at all.
Some other guys that just some guys that I took that didn't pan out. A lot of people were talking about Ayuk. Of course, Samuels took over on the other side. Henderson, I expected a lot more out of. He definitely got me some games, but only finishes at RB 26 as of now. Of course, Devonte Smith. Devonte Smith was supposed to be highly touted. Still one of the top rookies, but he's definitely not, someone you're considering for rookie of the year or anything like that. I expected more than wide receiver 29. Landry finishes at wide receiver 60, especially once OBJ was gone. A lot of people expecting a lot from A-Rob. A-Rob got took early. We said I was very big on Mooney. I said, take Mooney, take Mooney, take Mooney. Mooney finished way better. And A-Rob finishes at wide receiver 91. So I think he could definitely be in the running. Ridley, I think, is another one that people expected to do really, really well. He ends up at wide receiver 93. Scary Terry ends up at 25. Not really his fault. But, again, people drafted him early expecting more. Steelers receivers, except for Johnson, Steelers players, except for Johnson and Harris, really let people down. Claypool was supposed to come through for people. I think so for my number one, I think epitomizes what a dud is, and that's big expectations, taken a lot, held on to a lot, played a lot, waiting for the expectations, and also affected the rest of the players around him. So it'd be easy to determine who my number one is based off my number two, because I'm grouping them together, Metcalf and Lockett finished 21 and 22 respectively. We're supposed to be real big this year. I know I got Metcalf. Other people took Lockett. Lockett definitely, got you some points, some games. But Russell Wilson, hands down, my number one dud of the year. Quarterback number 22 in the league from Russell Wilson of all people. Normally a top 5, top 10 guy, depending on your format, ends up at quarterback number 22. To me, that was the biggest dud of the season. Again, based off expectations and the fact that he not only screwed you, but he screwed Metcalf and Lockett at the same time. Metcalf and Lockett owners.
Yeah, minus about maybe 2 or 3 games for each of them. It was just not what you would expect for someone who's been there so long together and have that chemistry. I knew he was going too high for me. I wasn't going for Russell Wilson this year at all. I was definitely going for Jalen Hurts. I knew I can get him in a later round. I heard a lot of bad talk about Matthew Stafford. I was taking him in a later round. I got both of them on multiple platforms.
And Stafford finishing QB5 right now, QB6. I'm sorry, QB6 right now. Still 1 week to go, but
if you were a slam dunk on all of your, running back, wide receivers early on, and your tight end, you got your whole team set up with like a bench player or two, and then you get Stafford and Hurts, you probably won a league. You just didn't see it, but
Hurts QB8. I definitely did not see that coming. That was a big one.
10 rushing touchdowns.
What's that?
10 rushing touchdowns. Didn't he?
Yeah. Well, definitely.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
So, he had 10. Josh Allen with 6 himself. You see, Hurts was the only thing clicking in Philly at all. Even Tannehill had 7 rushing touchdowns. So you see why Philly, why Tennessee is up there.
Let me tell you something. Jalen Hurts has more rushing touchdowns and more rush yards than Josh Allen. Is that true? I think it is.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true.
And nobody saw that coming. Nobody. And I was ready for it. I said, I'm getting him in the 8th or 10th round, somewhere in there. I did. It didn't pay off because all my players got injured. But that's like this was my year. And then I'm sitting here with, my feet up, championship weekend, just watching cooking shows because I can't.
Because other people just didn't get it done. And it's pretty sad. Top quarterbacks: Josh Allen, Justin Herbert at number 2, Brady at 3, Mahomes is at 4, and sophomore phenom Joe Burrow is sitting at 5. The fun thing about Burrow is he's been sacked 51 times this year. 51. No one else even comes close to that. Well, I take that back. Tannehill's been sacked 46. Which is also pretty crazy, and Mayfield at 43. But 51 times Joe Burrow's been sacked this year. Still QB5. I think the fact that he's got 14 interceptions, 34 touchdowns, which is up there with the rest of them. But, the thing about the interceptions is, people will talk about the numbers of the interceptions. You'll talk about Lawrence, what a failure he's been this year, and he just got set up. 17 interceptions, and you think, oh wow, man, 17 interceptions, that's a freaking lot. But look, Josh Allen had 15, Herbert had 14, Brady had 12, Mahomes has 13, Burrow has 14, Stafford has 15. So these top guys, your top 6, all double-digit interceptions. They're all over 30 for touchdowns. But then you got Rodgers sitting at number 7. He's got 35 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. So when you're talking about MVP honors and you wonder why Aaron Rodgers is in the conversation with all the controversy and stuff that's surrounding him, it's that 4 interceptions, which is going to help put him there.
Yeah. How many did you say Trevor Lawrence interceptions? How many did he have?
17.
How many touchdowns?
Still less than Peyton Manning so far. Still a game to go. We'll see.
Okay, because that's what I was going at. I got Peyton Manning at 21, interceptions, 25 touchdowns. But, just because you throw that many in your first year or second year or third doesn't mean you can't be great, or they're not going to be great next year. Like,
No, I mean he was in a horrible situation
yeah,
to have to deal with, and we'll see what happens over the years. We'll see how he recovers. Um, I
yeah.
don't think anybody's worried about Trevor Lawrence just yet. So if you have your duds, tell us about your duds, but tell us about your surprises too. And I'll just start off. Let me say one of my duds that I took early was, and I just simply wrote the other Rams wide receiver. Of course, I'm talking about Woods, but the other Rams wide receiver finishes at 44 because I think the biggest surprise for me this year is, of course, Cooper Kupp, top scoring fantasy player in the entire league. Wow, still a game to go.
I don't know if he was the biggest surprise for me. I knew he was going to do well. I liked him. I had him a couple years ago. I wanted Robert Woods because he was consistent with 1,000+ yards every season. I said that's what I want on my team, and so
Yep.
I took him instead. And we talked about it last week about what I knew about Cooper Kupp or found out about. Um, but he is a surprise. Cooper Kupp's the biggest winner of this season. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he flat out is just above and beyond anybody. Stafford found his guy, his Megatron, if you will, and we will have to get him a new name besides little baby Cooper Kupp or whatever you want to call him. But Cooper Kupp is the man. He's by far the man you wanted on your roster week in and week out. And he had a bad week, and it was what, 19 points. Like that's what you're talking about here.
But
And for somebody who comes in, what, fifth, sixth round, maybe, nobody was picking him third round. Nobody. And nobody believes Stafford because he's been mediocre over there in Detroit. And I'm like, he's coming to a great team with great wide receivers, and everybody was ignoring it. And I'm like, watching these mock drafts, and like nobody was doing it. It could have been fake. People like trying to fool other people, but why do that much work? And I don't know. I feel like he was just a great person to have on your league. And if you had him in your lineup, congrats. I missed him by this much in every single league. I would have had 4, 5, 6 more wins because of it. Sure.
Yeah, guys, 138 receptions, 17, I'm sorry, 20, 21 more than Devonte Adams at number 2 right now, 1,800 yards, 320 yards more than the next guy, which is Justin Jefferson, 15 touchdowns, which is 2 more than Jamar Chase, and the season's not over. The one thing that I will note is, again, when we looked at the rosters of of both championship teams, the winner and the loser, we did not see Cooper Kupp there on any of them. So it's interesting. What did people have to give up? Where did the play come from? How was the rest of their roster for the people who had Cooper Kupp? Did they just not have the supporting cast? Did Cooper just not come through the last couple of weeks, or what? And why you didn't see his name on any of those championship rosters? You did see Adams. You did see Jefferson. You did see Chase. You did not see Tyreek Hill. You did see Diggs. I didn't see any Deontay Johnson. I didn't see any Keenan Allen, Goodwin. I didn't see any Deebo Samuel. So,
I think
again,
what we have to look at is probably, your normal first playoff game of week 15. And week 15 was, I'm sorry, it was a shit show. Nobody
yeah,
showed up. Like, everybody got dragged in the dirt. And if you came out on top, you were surprised.
worst week
Nobody was
ever.
guaranteed that week. It happens almost every year. And I mean, Cooper Kupp showed up that week. So I don't know why he wasn't, in the lineup sooner. Maybe they had a couple more injuries. Maybe they got the CMC, the Derrick Henry, the Robert Woods, well, maybe not Robert Woods, but Logan Thomas
But yeah,
for
not
a
Robert.
tight end, and they were screaming for tight ends the last couple rounds. I don't know. Maybe they waited on a quarterback and didn't hit on those ones. I really want to know, where's Cooper Kupp in the playoffs? Like, the
Yeah.
guy who lost, who came in second in my league, he had Cooper Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
So or one of my leagues, I should say. Pretty wild.
Another, other guys that showed up, of course, Taylor. I think Taylor isn't a surprise with how well he did, but it's a surprise that he's the number one running back in the league because I think everybody expected Henry to do that. Henry still number 17, still in the top 20 guys and played in how many weeks? Still number 17. That's the lead he had on the field, but Taylor will finish most likely with the rushing title. And that's the surprise is that it's not Henry, not so much that Taylor did so well. Cordell Patterson finishing right now at number 7, Connor at number 8. I think those are big surprises. I don't think people saw that coming. Connor and Patterson really are those guys where you talk about points versus stats because Connor's points come off touchdowns. I mean, he got most of his points off those red zone touchdowns. His yardage is not through the roof, but it's the fact that when they got to the goal line, they fed him the ball.
Well, Patterson does have a pretty good amount of yards.
No, Patterson does. I'm talking Connor.
Connor, right.
Well, no, Patterson's only got 607 rushing yards. He does have 547, so he's at 1150 all-purpose, but that's not competing with the top guys, Taylor, Eckler, Harris, Mixon, those guys. But again, Cordell Patterson, Connor, 1,000, just over 1,034 all-purpose yards, but only 700 on the ground. But then Connor has 14 rushing touchdowns. That's second to Jonathan Taylor, third being Joe Mixon. So, Damian Harris also has 14 rushing touchdowns, but just doesn't have any of the other stats. So, tied for second on rushing touchdowns is definitely why Connor is there.
Yeah. Can you imagine Derrick Henry probably 2,600 yards right now? Like, I feel like that's what he was on pace for or whatever it was.
Just ridiculous.
Well above Jonathan Taylor. But because I was just looking at all the yards and touchdowns and stuff. But my biggest two surprises were Jamar Chase and Cordell Patterson. I had Cordell Patterson years ago, and I'm like, nothing, not even. And you know what? Next year, I'm not drafting him. I'm not going to do it. I already had him on my team a couple of times. I'm not going to jump on it for next year and say Cordell Patterson's my guy. No, I'm not going to do it. I can't do that. I'll wait a couple of years. Jonathan Taylor was, of course, a big surprise because we both passed on him. I was too worried about three-headed backfield.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't hinting towards anybody.
And Carson Wentz, I didn't like that either, but Carson Wentz kind of surprised number 14, possibly getting him to the playoffs.
Yeah, and Jamar Chase being a rookie, being there with Burrow. If I'm lucky enough, I can get the Burrow-Chase stack next year. That would be wonderful.
Everybody's going to be chasing that stack, and we'll see if it pays off. Let's see, Burrow. Well, I've got quite a few on here, but Schultz coming in at tight end number 4. We talked at the beginning of the year, and we'll continue to talk about it every year, that tight ends never do what they're supposed to do. There's only ever one or two top tight ends, and it's always going to be a mix. So you see names like Schultz, you see Knox coming up there. Ertz actually finishes 7th overall, which was kind of surprising to me. Freiermuth, fantastic rookie coming in. Second most touchdowns of I think any rookie, and I'll check that. Why you talk, but it's just crazy to see the names that are there at the top, and not just for tight end. I mean, Stafford at number 5. I'll tell you a big one that I think was crazy. Yeah, Freiermuth with 7 touchdowns is second among first-year receivers. So, that's saying something as well. But a big surprise to me is Nick Foles. Nick Foles, with all the trouble they had at quarterback in Chicago, only played in week 16 for 19 points. I mean, you had Fields going down and all that stuff. You would think maybe throw Nick Foles in there at some point during the season instead of bringing Dalton back, or to let Fields have a chance to play behind someone else or something. And he didn't play a single game until week 16.
Yeah, that's actually kind of surprising that a Super Bowl winner, a playoff winner, is just sitting back there third string behind inexperienced and experienced injured. That's their floor and ceiling,
Yeah.
and he did 19 points. But what do you expect for someone who's been riding the bench for 16 weeks?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why. I wanted Fields to go in and get him some work, and just watching him just get sacked and just chased around was kind of rough. And you just can't do that to a rookie quarterback. He's already a little bit confused. It's like NFL is like the all-star team of college football. There's
Right.
Everybody is good everywhere around you compared to college. So
Yeah.
And to get back to your tight end with Dawson Knox, who is he ranked like 10th in the championship?
Knox was 6th. Knox actually finished 6th.
Okay, depending on your points, of course.
Sure, that's PPR. That's PPR. You're right.
Right. How many points did he get in championship weekend?
Yeah. Again, you don't see him on the rosters for the championship teams.
Zero championship weekend.
Yeah, you see, and that's what we're seeing kind of across the board at all the positions. Again, Kupp, I'm not seeing him on the rosters. Andrews, I saw on one roster. I saw Kelsey on a roster, but I didn't see Kittle at third. I think I saw Schultz on one roster. Kyle Pitts, number 5 at tight end. But we talked about at the beginning of the season the huge separation between the first 2 tight ends and everybody else. Mark Andrews, 284, Kelsey, 249. The next one, George Kittle, is 192. So you got almost a 60-point difference there. Schultz, 191, and then it drops down to 173 with Kyle Pitts. So just a huge drop-off from 1 and 2. And if you go back and look, we had the same thing going into it's every season. You see this drop-off between 1 and 2 at the tight end position.
Yeah, I know we have about 4 listeners right now. They'll never, ever watch. Nobody's going to go back and check this video. So I'm telling you right now, I am not drafting a tight end 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. I'm just going to wait and just take my chances. It's one position. You got 2 running backs to fill normally, 2 or 3 wide receivers and a flex to fill normally. I'm going to wait next year on my tight end. That's my one secret that all 3 or 4 of you, I don't know, I haven't checked yet who's watching, but somebody watching. I'm not taking a tight end early. I can't make
No. Kelsey's the only one that pays off consistently, and so I'm not too mad at the people that take Kelsey. Again, he's number 2 this year. He's got 8 touchdowns. He's 249 in points, so he's there. He's again almost 60 points ahead of number 3. So I'm not mad at when people take Kelsey, but we said at the beginning of the year before people started drafting that Andrews needed to come off. We also said Kittle like everybody else, but. And then after that, it was just kind of a crapshoot. And of course, we saw Kyle Pitts go at 5, which is exactly where he finished, but only 1 touchdown. And that's the problem with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts
had back-to-back 30-point games, and that's all he did all season. That was it.
16 games this year, gets 1 touchdown. You had Freiermuth come in, technically logged at 15 games, had 7 touchdowns. Freiermuth finishes at 14 as far as points for 140, but definitely had to share a lot more than Kyle Pitts did, and still ends up with 7 touchdowns. So, you just don't know. And so is Freiermuth going to, move up into the top position? I don't think so. But he could be top 5 next year. I don't know. They're going to get a new quarterback, so it really kind of changes everything. Again, we talked about Stafford. Stafford, huge surprise for me, not as much surprise for you. Fournette finishes as RB5 right now. Samuel in and 49er land there is sitting at number 4 for wide receivers right now. I don't think anybody saw that coming. And if you did, good on you. To me, though, I think Jamar Chase is Kupp is the number one surprise for me, finishing as the top receiver in the league. Maybe shouldn't be because he got Stafford, but Chase is maybe a tie or a super close second for my top surprise, which we can kind of transition into the rookies of the year as well.
Let's start out with your MVP and then move on to Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm. My MVP is not a popular choice. I would love to see someone like Taylor get it because their team doesn't win. I like what Josh Allen has done. He obviously number one fantasy quarterback, over 4,100 yards. Tom Brady, of course, he will finish over 5,000 yards this season. He's got 40 touchdowns. I think Tom Brady makes a huge case for himself. But again, like we talked about, and I would honestly, if we're going top 3, maybe in no particular order, well, I'll put them in order. I'll put Stafford at number 3. I think Stafford really killed it, 4,600 yards, 38 touchdowns to go with his 15 interceptions. Again, those 15 interceptions are not out of whack for the top 6 guys. They're in line with everybody else. I'm going number 2, Tom Brady, who will eclipse 5,000 yards. Yet again, this year, 40 touchdowns, just amazing. But I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers again is my MVP. He's got the 35 touchdowns. He's got 4,000 yards before the season is over. But the thing that gets me is the 4 interceptions. Now, when I say MVP, I'm not grading this on like character and stuff like that. I'm grading this purely on stats. If I was going to go off character and let someone who wasn't a distraction to the team and stuff like that, he's going to obviously fall down that list, and Tom Brady's probably going to get it. But if we're going off stats alone, which I think is how they grade the MVP, even though he doesn't have the most yards, it's the fact that he has these 4 interceptions and took his team after that first game to winning the entire division. To me, it's Aaron Rodgers. I know not a lot of people will agree with me. They'll say Tom Brady. But for me, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. They have other awards like Man of the Year award for stuff you do off the field and stuff like that. But, MVP is for what you do on the field. And I would show you my paper, but then you would see that my other things that I have on there, and I can't show you that. So, but everybody, Tom Brady is at the top. He has the most fantasy points. I get it, most fantasy points. And then there's Justin Herbert, Josh Allen with all their.
Well, Josh Allen has the most points. Josh Allen's number 1. Tom Brady is number 3 behind Herbert.
Yeah. So when you look at all those people, like Patrick Mahomes is up there and Stafford
number 4.
But I'm looking at somebody who turned his team around. They're their number 1 seed. He's got 4 interceptions. Sure, he did it on way less passes. I actually did the numbers, and I don't know where that paper is now, but perception-wise or interception-wise, yards-wise, passing, completions, I did the percentages, and it looks better. Even if he had, another 170 more passes to throw like Tom Brady did, where would he be at? He'd be a little bit behind Tom Brady with still half the interceptions. So I'm not really too worried about it. I would give it to Aaron Rodgers as well. That's where it is for me anyway.
Yeah. And that's just, that's I think a lot of people are going to see it that way. I think that's why he's probably going to ultimately win. You hear that he's the front runner right now. So I agree. It's between him and Tom Brady, and it's just a matter if you want to go off. And Brady's still, I couldn't argue against Brady again. He's going to eclipse 5,000 yards. He's got 40 touchdowns, leads the league in yardage. He leads the league in touchdowns. He's third on the fantasy for fantasy points. So I can definitely see people giving it to Tom Brady. But like you said, those 4 interceptions, being the presence on the field, commanding his team the way he does, and getting it done the way he did this season, I think like you said, I think that edges it out for Aaron Rodgers.
Give me your rookie of the year.
Yeah, so rookie of the year. There are so when you say rookie of the year, are you talking overall? Are we doing by position? Are we doing just offense? Give me the criteria here.
Um, I mean, I know who I picked for defensive rookie of the year, and
Defensive rookie of the year is easy to me. It's easily Micah Parsons.
Micah
There's
Parsons.
I don't think anybody can argue against that. I like Surtain at number 2, but I mean you could get into linemen and all this kind of stuff
Micah
as
Parsons is
well.
number one on the list, but I didn't pick him. I agree with you, Micah Parsons, but no, I'm saying rookie of the year. Doesn't matter what position. Obviously, offensive rookie of the year, I guess I should say. Could be
Sure.
running back, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback. Like in Mac Jones or something like that. 'Cause it's kind of like
Well, yeah, I'll make it a little suspenseful, right? So my quarterback rookie of the year is Mac Jones. What he has done there, even though it's like I said, he's had weeks where he's thrown like 3 passes and stuff like that. But I mean, he's played the way he's supposed to play. He's been consistent. He's got his team already in the playoffs and a chance to win the division, and that's a lot of the coach's will. Mac Jones is definitely my quarterback rookie of the year. My running back rookie of the year, hands down, is Najee Harris. I don't see a lot of competition there. My wide receiver is Jamar Chase. I like Waddle. I think Waddle's making a great case for himself as well, but I give the edge to Chase just because the Bengals are going to win the division, or the Bengals won the North title. They're going to the playoffs. He did exactly what he was supposed to do with Burrow. I love it. Kyle Pitts is not my tight end of the year, even though he finished 5th. I actually I have a tie between Freiermuth, who has the 7 touchdowns, well, no, you know what? I'm not going to do a tie. I'm calling it hands out. I'm giving it. I like to give it to Freiermuth. Pitts definitely has the yardage. He definitely could get break Ditka's record for yardage. So I have no problem that people want to go with Pitts. I like the touchdowns from Freiermuth myself. But overall, with all those rookies in consideration, and again, we're going skill players. We're not talking about linemen, centers, and things like that. And there's certainly some amazing rookies out there this year in those positions. For me, it's Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is just what he's done, and especially the way the season started, all the controversy about the ball's different and all this kind of crazy stuff, to overcome that and to just put up the numbers and stay consistent and I mean the route running, the consistency, the clutch catches, and of course the touchdowns. The fact he's number 5 wide receiver as a rookie, and could even finish higher than that is just too much. Is too amazing for me. So I'm giving it to Jamar Chase, offensive and overall rookie of the year.
Ooh, I love that you picked it because I have 2 on my list that I was contemplating. And then I went back and looked at stats and what kind of team they were on. And so then I looked at stats. Jamar Chase has less stats than somebody. He has more touchdowns than somebody. So Jamar Chase has 1,400 yards. I'm not going to do the little small numbers. And Najee Harris has 1,600 yards.
Yep.
Okay. But Jamar Chase has 13 touchdowns. Najee Harris has 10.
Yep.
Jamar Chase has 2 fumbles. Najee Harris has 0. Okay.
That's big. I mean, that's a big thing.
Okay. Now don't look up any stats. Who has the most games over 200 yards? It's an easy one.
Was the most games over 200? It's got to be Jamar Chase. It's got to be Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase has 2 games over 200 yards.
Yeah.
Najee has 1. Okay.
Which is still pretty amazing.
Right. How many games over 100 yards do each player have?
I would put Najee at, let's say Najee has let's say 8, and let's give Chase 7.
Najee has 8 over 100 yards. Oh, sorry, 9 over 100 yards. Sorry, I missed 9. Jamar Chase has 4 over 100 yards.
There you go.
Last one. Which player has under 50 yards? What do they have?
Like how many times they went under 50?
Under 50 yards.
I'm going to say Chase leads this. I'm going to say Najee with 4, Chase with 5.
Chase has 5 times he went under 50 yards. 3 for Najee Harris. So you're saying that because he had a 266 yards one game, okay, he saved people's season. Sure, I'll give you that. And he broke a rookie record, got that. Sure. Give him that record. But Najee has more yards. He has 0 fumbles. The only other person who has that is somebody really good. Search it. He has 1 less game of 200 yards plus. He has 5 more games of 100 yards plus and 2 less games of 50 yards or less. The winner of Rookie of the Year is Najee Harris, the star on my paper from 14, 15, 16 weeks ago. It's Najee Harris. Najee Harris deserves it more based on stats alone.
I like it. I mean, you made the call. I'm not going to argue with you. I think you definitely made an outstanding case. Welcome, Donald. We did talk about your championship game. We definitely put your roster up there. So welcome. Thanks for joining us. But I'm not going to argue with you. I don't think other people are seeing the same thing you're seeing, which is unfortunate, but I hope that they do, because I think you make a fantastic case for Harris over Chase. These last couple weeks, people are looking at Chase because he's had the 200-yard games, the multiple touchdown games and stuff. But I definitely think you make a great case.
Now we got to bet something between you and I. I don't know. You're going to have to wear a Mayfield jersey or something. I know you won't do it, but not over something.
No, that's one I won't do. That's not going to happen.
I know it hurts too much, but I don't know. I feel like, okay, so you're on Jamar Chase. I'm Najee Harris.
Obviously I'm a Steeler fan here, so I would love to see Najee Harris. I would love for you to be right. I think people just have short memories, and so they remember that what Chase has done over the past couple of weeks instead of looking at the whole season like that. I mean, I love what you're saying. And I think if somebody stands up and makes that case, I think Harris has a great opportunity, especially the 0 fumbles. The games under 50, I think, is very significant. The games over 100, I think, is significant, but the fumbles for a running back, especially a rookie running back, I think you said he had 0 fumbles. That's fumbles lost, I'm sure, because I'm sure he's probably put the ball down a couple times, but just recovered it, or his teammate got him.
0 fumbles.
But that's a remarkable stat, because, like you said, nobody you don't see that. That's not something that running backs have. You don't have 0 fumbles. 0 fumbles, 0 fumbles lost, 0 fumbles.
You're right on. Next year, but the only other person of elite talent in this section with 0 fumbles, Alvin Kamara. Those are the only 2 people that had that many runs and rushes and catches and getting tackled, of course, are those 2 players. So think about that next time. Just
I think
Najee, so you didn't, I took him at 6.
No.
For a little bit.
I think Baker is Tim Couch reincarnated. It's kind of true right now. Donald, of course, as we showed, Donald won by like 1 point something points because his opponent only got 5.8, I think is what it was, from Chubb, if I'm remembering correctly, or he got 5.8. Donald got 5.8 out of Chubb's substandard night. So pretty crazy. I think you should post that on the page, put that comparison up somehow, make that argument, because I think it's a fantastic argument, and I like it. I like the pick.
Yeah, yeah, and Donald Love says Lindsey hasn't fumbled in his career. Lindsey's really good. I don't understand why. They're the dual backfield. Lindsey is great. I
It's the
really like him.
explosiveness. They are a triple running back backfield. Gordon, I believe, will be gone next year because his contract is out, and they're going to run with Williams. But it's going to be a two-headed monster. You know how Denver is. Denver's always multiple running backs. I think it'll stay that way.
Yeah, I want to stay away. As much as I like Lindsey, you got to stay away from him. You want the number. The reason why I stayed away from Jonathan Taylor is they were hush hush about who they needed to start, which didn't make sense to me. They obviously gave him all the touches, but yeah. So that's all I got for a rookie MVP. I mean, all we got really is for me is college.
Man, and that brings us to college chaos. And I'm sorry I can't put the little banner up there due to the technical difficulties I'm experiencing right
I
now.
don't want to see it because you're beating me in your
Well,
pick.
I'm beating you. Yeah. Okay. So here's how it is for the newcomer. So all year long we've been doing college chaos with Roop. There it is. Roop has called upsets every week. Got some, missed more, but I mean that's why they're called upsets. And so at the end of the season for the bowl games, we went head to head and we made the picks on all the bowl games since Army played. And we picked our winners and our losers. Right now, I am up by one. However, we both have Alabama to win the national championship. We'll get to that in a second. So the only game that matters is he has K-State tonight, and I have LSU. Currently, it's in the first. At the end of the first, K-State's winning 7-0. So close game. Nothing decided there. If K-State were to win, we would have the exact same win and exact same loss record, which is pretty crazy for all the bowl games. We've got over 20 bowl games here.
It was
Probably over
25
25.
bowl games we did.
And we would both be 16 right with 7 wrong. And so based on that, here's what we're going to do. Now, if this would be a moot point. Depending on how this game comes out. If LSU wins, I'm the outright winner, no matter what. You cannot catch me. However, if K-State were to finish off this game and win, we would be in an exact tie. You kind of made a joke about it. However, being the person who is behind, would you like to roll the dice and take a chance on Georgia winning the national championship? Switch your pick, as the game has not been played yet, just for the opportunity to possibly beat me should K-State win this game and you tie.
Here's the thing.
Or would you like to stay with Alabama and we'll just end in a tie if K-State wins this game?
I'm way too competitive for that. So here's the thing. I need K-State to win tonight. I need them to pull up and just take it. I feel like they got some heart. And LSU's too injured. K-State, win this one for me. And I will switch my Alabama pick to Georgia for the hopes, because we all know what happened. Georgia laid down so Alabama can get in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
And here they are. I'm just fucking waiting for Georgia to come back and say, I'm sorry.
No, I give Georgia a chance in this game. I give Georgia a chance to come back. I just, we talked about it. There's a reason we both picked Alabama. I know you still believe Alabama's going to win this game, but like you said, you're too competitive in the off chance that Georgia wins. That would give you the bowl game prediction championship should K-State win this game. So we will watch to see what K-State does. If K-State does happen to win, we will let you guys know. And I have officially switched your pick to Georgia, and this is conditional. If LSU wins tonight, you are saying that you do not want to change Alabama's picks because it will not make a difference. I will still be the champion.
Right. Yeah. You'll still be the champ of the bowl season, if you will. But I have something to say. When I was picking throughout the season,
Rob said to take Georgia, by the way. Rob was very emphatic about taking Georgia.
Yeah, I was picking ranked upsets all season long. And out of my 50 games that I did throughout the season, including the bowl games, there was 43 ranked upsets that I was calling. Now I only won 16 of those, but they're upsets. They're not supposed to happen.
You're not supposed to come out ahead on that, and I wonder how the money would have turned out. I'm not going to go back and do the math on it, but it would have been interesting to see how the money would have come out if you'd even bet, place the same amount, put a hundy on all the games where you would have ended up, just because you would have won so much based off, the odds there.
Yeah, I only got like 37%, but thankfully for the bowl games added in there, I'm at about 56% on my picks of just regular games. So that's good. I mean, technically, if you put money
Yeah,
on it, I'm up a little bit, but I had fun all season long. So
absolutely.
but yeah, I'll definitely switch my pick, and we'll wait to see what happens tonight. If it's now I have to go watch the game. I'm retired tomorrow when I go to work, but it's fine.
I will not be watching the game. I will.
Yeah, I might watch a little bit and hope that nothing crazy happens. But
I will know what the score is before I go to bed, but I will not be watching the game.
yeah. So are we gonna do? Are we doing any more shows? Are we gonna do a playoff? Are we doing Super Bowl picks?
Absolutely, folks. So this is not going to be the last. This is the last regular season show. So we've talked about this amongst ourselves about if we're going to switch nights or whatever, and we'll definitely let you guys know. But where we're going to be, when we're going to be there. I don't know if it's going to be a regular schedule or not, but this is simply the last regular season show. This is not the end of it for this season. I mean, there's still a lot of football left, a lot of football that you guys are going to want to talk about, whether it's fantasy or not. We'll still touch upon the college championship and whatnot, because that will happen. But no, folks, we are not going anywhere. Stick with us. Follow our page, like and subscribe the YouTube channel. I can definitely see some exclusive content coming out on the YouTube channel, but we're going to be talking football all year long. We will be here for draft day. We will definitely be looking for you guys to contribute with us for draft day. Welcome, Aurora. Thanks for joining us for one last time for the regular season, but not for good. We're not abandoning you guys. This is football. Football goes on all year. It's in our hearts, and we will definitely be here for you guys all year long, leading up in the next fantasy season. We've got some big things coming up next year, some new format stuff. We just really appreciate all the support we've gotten so far this year. We're definitely going to continue this on next year. We're going to be there to help you guys draft. We're going to be there to help you guys win next season. So don't go anywhere. Stick with us, and let's yak some football, everybody. We've loved yakking with you all season long.
Thank you, Aurora, for tuning in every week. I mean, constantly at any chance you get. I really do appreciate the support. Rob, you've always been there. A wonderful every single week, every chance you got. Donald coming in today, Kevin, anybody else who's always sitting there watching, didn't even have to comment. We really do appreciate the love, even if it's just for a quick comment or one little question, or even when you guys send us a message on Facebook or something. We answer it the best we can and give you like the stats and what we know and any news we've heard. We give you everything we possibly can, because we're not going to hide anything. I had somebody hide something from me in another league, and I didn't know about it because I can't read everything, and it benefited. So we're going to give you everything we possibly can. We do a lot of homework so you don't have to, and we really do appreciate you guys showing up. Enjoy it. Have some fun. Talk trash. Enjoy the fun of all the football that's left, because it ain't over, and we will be back next year. Another league with a lot of fun, little twists and turns in there coming up. You guys will find out if you can join the league. And really, I'm ready for next year. I almost want to sign out of everything and then move on. But the season's technically not over in some leagues. So if you have any questions, bring it our way. We love you guys. Stay safe. Happy New Year, and get ready for next year, because I'm ready. I'm going to win. I said I was going to win. I'm going to. I'm telling you.
I hope I feel you, and I'm excited for you.
Thanks,
Um,
Rob. Ah, the host. He's having technical difficulties. What is he doing? He's just over there, just he's gone. But yeah, Rob, I'll take K State and then Georgia, and then take the W down finally once and for all. But the host has to do the work to actually get back at that. So I did more work than him. We missed him. Yeah, Aurora. Oh, look at that. Who else we got on here? Since it can mess in, yep. Oh, yeah, Donald thinks Baker's Tim Couch. A lot of comments. So you don't gotta quit fantasy football. You gotta have fun with it. I'm really enjoying what's left of this year, and here comes the host back. There he
there we
is.
go. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I said, the technical difficulties. I went for one last effort here because I didn't want to miss out on Rob Machado playing us out. He's just been too instrumental to the program. We thank Rob for putting together that music for us. You hear it again. Go to ReverbNation.com at Rob Machado. Rob Machado at ReverbNation.com and find his music because he's got a lot of tracks and he just wants you to have them. You don't even got to pay for them. You just listen all day long. He put them down. I guess that, like I said, end of the regular season. It's been a fun ride. Co-host of the year. I Googled it. It was you. Congratulations. I don't know if you've been notified yet, but
I have
yeah,
been Googling myself lately, so that's fine.
you should get a knock on the door and stuff like that about it. So congratulations on that. Anything to say on our way out for the regular season? Again, we're going to be back with you guys.
Yeah,
It's not goodbye.
I
It's just see
don't
you later.
I don't know if we're gonna do a Friday here coming up. Maybe we'll pick a playoff picture and who we're gonna take each week, and maybe do
Absolutely, yeah, we can do that. I love it.
another battle of the playoffs. Um,
I'll beat you as many times as I can, man, because it doesn't happen often. So
yeah, well, I mean, our bragging rights right now are kind of like hit and miss.
yeah,
So
yeah.
56% I'll take. And if I could pull this off and switch to Georgia, I will. I'm more than proud to do so, even if it gives me. I don't need the tie. I'd rather give you the bragging rights as well. So to all the fans, everybody's watched all season. Thanks, Rob, for the support and saying that take the Georgia in Kansas. I'll hopefully pull that off tonight, and it'll be more exciting for the championship, which means I'll probably have to watch. But for everybody who watched over the season, we're not going to go anywhere. We're here if you need anything. Reach out to us, to the best host in the nation. Take us out, take us home at this last week, because we did it, partner. We did it. We made it one season.
We made it. We got all the way. It's going to be even better next year. Like you said, thanks to Rob. Thanks to Donald for joining us. Everybody joins. Aurora for being there every week. Rachel for showing up. Mark, T-Bone Smith, Kevin, our contest winner, everybody that support us, everybody on the page. Again, we're going to be here for you all the rest of this season, all off season, draft day, and we're going to help carry you right into next season. We will be here. Just let us know what you need, and we will run the numbers for you. Yards after the catch, we are here. Let's yak some football, everybody. Let's all just get our heads bobbing on the way out and enjoy your season. Best of luck to you. Congratulations to the winners, and best luck to you, the rest of you, for next year. Hopefully we can help you guys out. Hopefully we will join you at the top with our trophies, and we just appreciate you. Much love and appreciation to all of you. Go Steelers, go Bruins, Boomer Sooner on behalf of my co-hosts, and of course the Ohio State Buckeyes. We love them all, and we love you guys most of all. Let's yak some football, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. IO.